Recording! Hello, viewers!
Hello, and welcome to the show. Tonight, instead of discussing 12 Monkeys, since season finale was last week, folks, we will be discussing the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con.
Woo, Comic-Con!
And we have a lot to discuss.
Even though our guest, who was actually there, isn't able to be on the video yet.
Yeah, she's sitting over here in chat talking to us.
Oh, what?
She got to be there.
We have another visitor. Hello.
Hi.
Barbara's here.
Oh my God, my warm.
There's your
So warm. Here. Barbara will vouch for me how long my list is.
That's all the trailers I watched. Like I couldn't.
Yeah, that's all the trailers I watched.
I gotta go to bed. I did not.
I know. Well, I'm not expecting you to stay the whole time. Okay. We're gonna put it up on.
I know.
Yeah. I
shut my door.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Apparently, I'm echoing on her end. Okay. So where do we want to start, guys? Because there's a lot to cover. We've got I've got issues. I've got things I'm really happy about. I've got things.
What do you think
that I'm probably going to rant about?
The Brie Larson announcement.
Oh, I really don't know anything about her, but
Yeah.
I thought that Captain Marvel was supposed to be like in her mid-30s.
That's what I thought too. And isn't
a little bit
Larson
older
like
than
20?
that. But she is younger because I was thinking older than that too.
Yeah. I did too. And I thought they had a different actress picked out for
No,
Captain Marvel.
Like
a couple months ago, they said it.
What's her face? Starbuck was going to do it. But that was all just rumors.
Yeah, that's who I heard.
Yes.
Ooh,
Well,
because Starbuck would have been amazing.
Like 2 years ago, she said that she was getting fitted for a cowl of some sort, and that still hasn't happened. So I don't know if she was like in early running and then got bumped, or if she's doing something else, or something fell into development hell, or what.
Like the only thing I can think of that she's doing right now is Longmire. Oddly enough,
Brie
with the
Larson
actor who played
26.
Reuben Conway.
Yeah, well,
she's kind of young, but
on how they're going to
She's
do
supposed to be really good.
they might even have her
Yeah.
start out young and have her age a little bit.
Yeah. Danny says Captain Marvel is low-key boring, but Brie should be okay. Lol. Having not seen any Brie Larson work, or if I have, I don't.
The main thing I remember
I
her
can't
from
really
is the United
voice
States
a
of
solid
Sarah. Did you ever
opinion.
watch that show?
No,
Sarah's daughter.
and I haven't seen Scott Pilgrim either.
Which one was she in Scott Pilgrim?
Platinum blonde ex-girlfriend of Scott Pilgrim's, the one that
Okay.
was like a glamour plus, like
Okay.
The singer one?
I've seen bits and pieces of Scott Pilgrim, but I've never seen the whole thing. So.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's the best thing ever.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about Chris Evans was in that too.
And Brandon Rouse. Lots of superheroes in that movie.
All the superheroes. Wrong
before they were
wrong franchise, but all the superheroes.
Maybe
all right, so I guess in other words,
we're heroes later.
In other words,
Scott
I guess
Pilgrim.
I need to go watch
I definitely
Scott Pilgrim.
I recommend United States of Terror too. It's
I'll
actually it's a funny, dark comedy, and it's only like 2 or 3 seasons long, so it goes by pretty quick.
Yeah.
Brie Larson's in the new King Kong movie, isn't she?
Yeah,
I
think
the
female lead. Yeah. Yeah, although she
The
doesn't look
damsel.
quite as damsel-y. She looks like she can actually hold her own.
With my
I'm trying to move
future
my
husband.
lamp.
With my future
If
husband.
I
Tom
vanish for a
Hiddleston.
second, it's because I'm moving my lamp
The
and I
reason
may
I
end
knew
up dropping
that they
it
were
'cause it's
making a
very
new
heavy.
King Kong movie was
Because
because they
it's-
were adding a new
yeah.
land at Islands of Adventure at Universal here in Orlando, and they're adding a King Kong land. And I saw that back in
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
December when I went there the last time. We were walking through, and I was like, "Why is this all blocked off?" And we had to peek behind the walls. Like, there's all these construction guys building the King Kong land.
Oh, that'll be us at Disneyland next year.
Oh my goodness! You know, I went to high school.
That did not help at all.
I went to high school for 4 years, right behind the back gate of Universal, and never went. Like literally, my bus stop at school looked at them
In Florida?
building the roller coasters, and you could hear them in the classrooms in Orlando. And like, I never went. I just stared at roller coasters from the classrooms for 4 years.
I think if you're talking about the King Kong trailer there, Danny, I think the reason why nobody's been impressed is because we all know what King Kong looks like, and they just tried to hide him too much in the preview. It's like we all know what he looks like.
They did
they're
the all
making
about
another King Kong
Godzilla.
movie. It's just, you know, it's like
Yeah.
there's all these writers out there that have all these great ideas, and Hollywood just keeps recycling all these old concepts because they're like, but we have better special effects now. We should do it. It's like,
Right? It's like,
Yeah,
no,
and
go make something
King
new.
Kong was kind of a weird social kind of racist thing to begin with. It was like taking the gorilla out of the jungle and seeing how crazy he goes when he comes into society. I mean, I'm not a big fan of King Kong to begin with. It really is a racist face for a bomb.
Like, yeah, it is a very, very racist face because it was basically the story of taking, you know, the black man out of Africa and seeing how he could survive in white society.
And putting him on display.
In the bun, ape shit. And
I will say this in reference to what Maria here just said. They're trying to tap into perceived existence audiences. The one time I went to my ex's house and I spent time with his dad and mom, his dad watched King Kong movies the entire time I was there. So there is a perceived
there's
audience.
a big
There is an audience for it. It's just not
anyway.
us.
There's always a
my brother
audience
loves
of people
them.
who want to go and see a special effects
Yeah.
movie. They're always better on the big screen than they are in your living room, no matter how nice your TV is. But I wasn't thrilled about that.
Yeah. No, I'm not big. That's definitely not on my list of movies for next year. It'll probably get watched on Netflix at some point, and that's about the gist of it for that. Oh, that's I can't wait to see it, but I am not happy about one of the announcements that came out of that. And yes, Barbara, I will bring that up. Don't worry.
Yeah, but
I'm not happy about that because that's not who his dad was in the comics.
But then they announced who he was. I'm like, how is it a surprise?
Yeah.
But they're promising.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I thought it was going to be a surprise.
So he's definitely playing his dad and not two separate characters?
Yeah, they announced it in one of the articles I read Saturday that Kurt Russell. Am I using the right name?
Who is
okay? Yay! I got it right.
But see,
yeah, he's playing Ego, who's a giant planet.
But he's also playing somebody else. I thought.
think he's a personification.
It's like, how is a planet going to be someone?
He's a personification.
He's playing the human
There's no way that
of
he could
Ego.
impregnate a woman if he did. If he wasn't able to personify himself in some way.
Right, because in the comic books, Novacorps made Ego into a human and banished him to Earth. But when he arrived at Earth, he started sucking everything in around him and was becoming a planet. So they had to come and remove him from Earth.
Sucks
because he was going to
Sucks in
destroy
everything
Earth.
around him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Bow chicka bow wow there, Barbara.
Sounds like Novacorp needs some better prisons, because like one got blown up after one day of the Guardians being there. One was a planet sent to another planet. Like, come on, Nova.
Yeah. No, I that's why I'm worried about the Infinity Gem that they have locked up on their little
that's
safe planet. Thanos is gonna just blow right through that.
Dude, Thanos is just gonna pick that shit
it
up.
has to happen. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
Thanos
the
is just gonna be like,
so, I mean,
yeah.
they showed him with the glove with all of the stones in it. So
Yeah. He's like, I guess if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself.
Which really he should have just done from the beginning instead of
right.
Instead of
you offer these
Loki make a
mentally
mess of
unstable. Offer these mentally unstable people, a consolation prize as long as you bring me the ultimate power. Oh yeah, that's gonna work out.
The other superhero.
He just don't want to get his hands
on the other
dirty.
side, the DC side. They're not there.
Yeah, we've got
Wonder Woman.
stuff I'm happy about, like super happy about.
The Wonder Woman preview
Oh my
made me
god!
almost cry. Like I was
That
watching
was
it, I
just
was like,
amazing.
they started
I
playing that guitar
wanted to,
riff,
but
and
I haven't
literally
gotten to
wanted
it.
to cry.
Oh my god, though, the Wonder Woman preview, it was like, okay, I heard it was out, and I'm like, where is it? And I kept looking, and I couldn't find it. I finally found it very late Saturday night, and I literally was like sitting in the dark in my room, like, and I went, it was over. I ran down to Barbara's room, and like, we're seeing Wonder Woman.
Dude, like, they could release it without any previews, and I would see it. Wonder Woman was my very first favorite hero. I don't even like DC now, but I like Wonder Woman.
I have an older sister, and when we were little girls, my sister was always Wonder Woman when we played. She would get my mom's tinfoil and wrap it around her wrists and tie a towel around her neck, and then she would get the clothesline, and I always had to be the bad guy, so she would get to lasso me.
Oh my god.
She's going to hate me for telling that story now. I should tell her kids that story. It would be hilarious.
When we were little, we were always Star Wars, and my baby sister was an Ewok.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It was mostly so we could say Ewoks don't talk.
They probably would have no clue who Wonder Woman it was. That's right, Barbara. Okay, so what was so amazing about the Wonder Woman preview? She's not relying. Okay, you can already see it in the preview. She's not going to rely on her love interest to save the day. She's going out there. She's kicking ass. She's doing a great job doing it.
And at least in the trailer, he's like pretty okay with that. Like that's the best part. Where he's just like, "Wow, you're neat."
He's worried about her. He doesn't think that she should be fighting all these guys on her own, and she's just like, "I don't give a shit what you think." And I was like, "Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna do what I want to do." You know what, though? You're right, Barbara. She is no Linda Carter, but I have to give Gail Gadot. I know her name because she's in the Fast and the Furious movies. And I have to give her props. She's definitely stepped up her game from the Fast and the Furious movies. She was
one of the henchmen or something. She wasn't one of the main ones.
No, she wasn't main. She was the Asian guy's girlfriend in like the last.
It is so hard for me to keep those movies straight because they all just blur together. There's like nothing distinctive for me about any of those movies. It's just
they're kind of the same.
Yeah,
they're kind of the same.
They are. They're just they're brainless fun. That's the way I look at them.
They're episodes.
He's like in the last few.
Is one of the 4 with The Rock in it?
Yeah, but yeah.
Wait, yeah, he's in the last few.
No, I've only ever watched them as a marathon, so like it's just one 12-hour movie to me.
Oh Jesus!
I don't think I
I'm
can
being
handle all of
followed
those
by
movies in one
writers of
sitting.
TV shows now. That's
Like
not
only
even
if I was
funny.
playing a video game or like on Twitter or something like while I was doing it.
My sister,
Okay, you're fighting again.
my sister really likes them.
My 21-year-old nephew loves them. He's a car guy. He likes the car thing, and I found Vin Diesel attractive in the first one, and I'll admit it. I've watched all of them since then because of him.
It's like a candy bar, you know. If you eat it, it's gone. It has no real nutritional value, and like afterwards, you're just like, I'm still hungry. So, I guess not a Snickers.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to clear things off my list as we discuss them, so I don't go back to them. So we're
yeah.
Okay. Did any of you guys see the Justice League preview?
Yes.
Oh my God. I will admit I was a little nervous about Jason Momoa being Aquaman, but
Aquaman
I was worried about
finally.
I was worried about Aquaman.
Yes.
See, that's what I was saying. Like, I had no doubt that Jason Momoa would be awesome, but Aquaman was always lame, and it's about time he wasn't.
Yes, Aquaman is going to kick ass. I mean, come on, Aquaman kicked Batman's ass in the preview.
Like easily. Casting, he's young and cocky. I think it's good. You know, he's not Grant Gustin, but we knew it's not going to be.
He's so perfect.
It's okay.
No. But you know what though?
I can want to hug him and pinch his little fast face.
I know. And you know what? I can go into this movie being okay with the casting of who they picked for the Flash because Grant Gustin and the actor they have for the movie, they adore each other. They're like, go, do it, make it your own.
Yeah, like
they're
separate things. They're not competition, so it doesn't matter.
Advertisement.
And they support each other.
So.
It's not like it's not Evan Peters and Evan Peters and I know his name. The one who plays Pietro in the Avengers movie.
The one from Kick-Ass.
Where they are competing to be the better Pietro.
Yeah, Evan Peters is one of his buddies.
Yeah, they're both from Kick-Ass.
Yeah, well, they're two very different characters, though. I mean, they went some very different ways.
I want the X-Men movie.
They did, and they did that perfectly. So I wasn't unhappy with either portrayal.
I want the X-Men movies to be folded back into the main Marvel universe, just so Wanda and this not
Pietro exist together.
Yeah, so that they can look at each other and go, "Wait a minute, why is my brother back alive and American?
He still has fucking
right." Yeah. Oh my God, it's so hot.
I thought you were talking about his hair. Okay.
Sorry, no, it's really hot here.
I mean, if you're going to do that, it should have been we were talking about Aquaman.
Okay, so yeah,
he needs all the ocean to keep the cool down so that he doesn't overheat the planet.
I swear I wrote. Oh, is it up at the top? It is up at the top. Okay, well I'll talk about Marvel in a minute. Okay, so this was an article I caught. I think it popped up on my Facebook feed at one point where they were talking about Legends of Tomorrow and how they're bringing in the Legion of Doom to go up against the Justice Society of America. And that is one of the things I'm really happy about because the Legion of Doom equals John Burrowman and Wentworth Miller acting together.
That
makes me really happy.
They're going to be floating around between all three, or I guess 4. I don't know if they're going to start including them in Supergirl or not, because she's moving.
I think that's the plan. They're folding it in.
They signed
I knew that
a multi-serial contract with all 4 shows.
Supergirl was included.
Why did that get all weird and muffly?
So that's cool.
We don't know how yet. I'm pretty sure the Flashpoint, he's going to have to fix it like immediately because he fucked up everybody's life. And then when it settles, he'll go, hey, there's a new Supergirl.
I'm still waiting for the new
I'm still behind too, but I basically know what's going on.
Yeah, I watched the old stuff, but not in time to start watching with the new stuff. Like, I got it on, it was already, the old episodes were already gone.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Well, with Arrow and Flash, I was almost caught up when the new season started on TV, but my DVR screwed up and didn't record the first 2 episodes of both shows. So it was just like, so now I'm waiting for Netflix, and then I'm going to watch all of them, including Supergirl.
I watched.
So I'm up
to
date.
Like,
I watched
2
all
episodes
of
each show on the CW website, but then the rest of them are like the last 5 episodes of the season. So like the whole middle part's missing. So I watched the first couple episodes of
I hate when they do
both of them and the LOT. But I mean, I'm totally up to date on Supergirl because I actually started watching Supergirl before the others.
Supergirl is so good.
So to be honest, I was under the impression I needed to see all of Arrow and Flash to understand what was going on in Legends of Tomorrow. And to be 100% honest, I was only going to watch Legends of Tomorrow because of Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell, because I love them.
All of them, it helps if you've seen them all, but you don't have to watch them to know what's going on. This last season, I didn't watch Arrow at all because last season, the Ra's al Ghul thing just pissed me off too much.
It was annoying.
And I was just like, fuck you, Arrow.
He
kept making the same stupid choices over and over again.
Episodes when they resurrected Sarah, because I knew that they resurrected Sarah because she was on the cast list for the show, so I knew that she wasn't dead. So I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna watch them. I missed out on these episodes, but I know everything else that happened because when I did my watch through, I got online and found out the proper order to watch the episodes in. So I did my alternating between Flash and Arrow. You know, I watched all of Arrow and then Arrow Flash, Arrow Flash, Arrow Flash. My head was gonna explode, and I kept tweeting 12 Monkeys, and I'm like, I'm trying to watch Flash, and this episode's taking me 2 days to watch because I keep stopping and tweeting 12 Monkeys. And Terry was laughing at me because I kept saying, I felt like I was cheating on 12 Monkeys trying to watch Flash.
That's great. I have to agree with what Barbara has said over here in the chat. She says, I want to see Wolverine, Cap, and Bucky sharing war stories and drinking beers. Unfortunately, none of them would get drunk, but I would love to see it.
They would all try. Wolverine likes a good drink.
They would all try so very hard and to get drunk, and they wouldn't be able to.
See,
they could be drinking that hyper meat that Thor has from Asgard.
He's kind of a solar guy, and he's kind of got that macho,
Well,
that's exactly how it is.
No, then they just beat him down, and then he respects them, and then they're fine.
In the comic books, Wolverine and Cap are actually really good friends in the comic books.
I saw an egg flying there.
Yeah, they worked together in World War II.
He was, and they're, Wolverine was on the Avengers at one point in the comics.
Yeah.
At more than one point, because he's Wolverine, and Wolverine is in every comic in Marvel.
Like I have said multiple times, everyone and their brother has been an Avenger. Everyone.
When Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I looked up the list of everyone who had been in Avengers and Guardians to see where they could possibly go to cross them over. And almost every Guardian has been in the Avengers, except for maybe like 5. So at different times,
a few decades.
they've just shuffled in half the
It's like comic
Guardians.
What was
stories.
it?
A few
A while
decades,
back,
there's
we
plenty
went
of time
to
for
we went to
crossovers.
Disneyland. Yeah,
Exactly.
it was actually really funny. A while back, me and Barbara, we went to Disneyland together, and we were waiting in line to meet Captain America, and the guy asked us who our favorite superheroes were, and the people were giving the atypical answers: Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and I'm just like Pyro. Oh well, the villains are good too, and I'm like, yeah. He was an Avenger. He was an
And an
Avenger.
X-Man.
I know. And an X-Man. So he may have been a villain a majority of his comic book existence, but he was a hero too.
My favorite X-Men are the ones who were never actually on the X team, like Chamber and Jubilee, who never gets to do anything, and Blink.
Poor Jubilee.
Oh my god, I love
love
my
Blink.
first experience with X-Men
I
was
love
the TV show
Blink.
when I was a teenager, the X-Men comic TV show. And I love that. And we all watched it like religiously, me and all my friends. Yeah.
I think all of us in this age group has watched it.
It was so
And
good
then,
though. It was like
one
the
of my-
closest to
one
the
of my guy
comics of
friends,
any
told
X-Men
me this
adaptation I've
Claremont
seen.
X-Men comics.
Yeah,
and I read all of
yes.
those. And that was also in high school. But I was more into like Sandman, Preacher, Books of Magic. I was reading that stuff. I didn't read a lot of the superhero stuff.
That's cool too.
Sandman was my.
I never read
initial-
Sandman until after
Yeah,
I had
Sandman.
read everything else that Neil Gaiman
Sandman
wrote.
was my door.
Like I read all
Yeah.
his novels.
I actually
Then
kind
I
of,
read
stumbled
Sandman.
upon it because I was a Tori Amos fan, and I was walking through a bookstore, and like her name jumped out of me, like out the corner of my eye, and I stopped and looked, and it was the Death, the High Cost of Living, the Death comic, and she had written the introduction for it, and I was like, "Whoa, she wrote the intro! I'm gonna buy this because it must be good if she likes it." So I bought it, and then I ended up buying every single Sandman.
There was such a specific moment in my life when it would have been perfect because like I was 16, a goth, listening to Nine Inch Nails and Tori Amos, and it should have had Sandman, but I never picked it up.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Oh man.
And somehow it never happened, but now I'm like
And that
in love with his
actually
brain,
makes a good
and
transition
I will read
to
anything
another,
that he puts words on.
Announcement. They had the announcement of Easter, the character Easter for American Gods, which I was actually a little bit surprised, which I shouldn't have been surprised because Brian Fuller absolutely loves and adores her, and I mean, I don't know if you guys are pushing daisies.
I love
What was
Pushing
it?
Daisies.
Pushing Daisies. Let me just put it this way: watching TV obsessively has been a new thing of mine in the last like 4 or 5 years. Because before that, books were more important to me, and I read all the time. I didn't really watch TV. Like the biggest show in my childhood, like early teens and stuff, was a show called Due South. I never missed it. You love Due South? I love Due South.
She was on Pushing Daisies. She was not a lead on Pushing Daisies. She's like a second tier character. She was the one who was in love with the Pie Man, and it was this unrequited love.
Yeah.
She literally
It was so She
Okay.
was so great, though. She was so obnoxiously in love with him.
It's oddly enough, Pushing Daisies is on my to be watched list. Other shows like Criminal Minds take over my brain for months on
Criminal
end.
Minds
And
should
I
be
have
long. There's only 2 seasons of Pushing Daisies. Watch that and go back to Criminal Minds.
I'm almost done.
Pushing Daisies is like
After I rewatched Todd Stashwick's episode like 3
Jim
more
Dale
times.
does the narration, and like I don't know if you've listened to the Harry Potter books on audiobook, but Jim Dale narrates those too. And Jim Dale, I remember him from my childhood because I loved the movie Pete's Dragon, and he played the evil snake oil salesman guy in Pete's Dragon. And so yeah, Pushing Daisies is great, but yeah, Brian Fuller brought out Kristen Chenoweth when they did their panel.
He's got 2 shows I'm looking forward to coming up.
Oh,
Brian Fuller.
He's also doing
what's
the
the other one?
The new
yeah.
Somehow I missed
Yeah.
Yeah.
his IMDb page is long.
And yes, Maria Todd has been in everything.
Okay.
It is. Oh my god. It was funny yesterday though. I was watching Criminal Minds and his episode came on and I was just like sitting there doing something. I was typing something and I looked up at the screen and he's beating the hell out of somebody.
You're like,
and I just looked up to see what's going on and then he looks up and I'm like, Todd!
That man has been on every show that I watch. At some point, it's like, oh hey, it's Todd. It's
Right?
like it's like going to school with someone for 5 years or 8 years, and he's just always in the other class.
I first saw him on The Riches,
and then like
that was the first big impression of him that I had on The Riches. I adored that show. Another show that was canceled too soon.
Yeah.
Every show's canceled.
It was actually hilarious because I was like, I told somebody about that. I was like, oh, Todd Stashwick was just on this episode. And then like 3 episodes later, they're chasing some guy down the street. And I'm like, oh, it's Father Gabriel.
That's the best part of being a genre fan. Like, there's only maybe 58 people that do all of these shows.
The Canadian production,
and then you can just like follow them from show to show.
They're like everything.
Right?
It's like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
Dude, freaking Killjoys right now has everybody.
Yeah, and then it was like, it amused me greatly. Was it last season of Legends of Tomorrow? I'm just sitting there, la la la, watching the episode where the space pirates attack, and then the space pirate captain was Leo Ben Conway from Battlestar Galactica.
Appropriate.
And I'm like, I've been watching him since I was 13. Very appropriate. He's one of my favorite actors.
But yeah,
very underappreciated.
They released the trailer for
Are you being attacked for dinner?
Was amazing. And
so exciting.
Amazing. I will definitely be watching that next season.
Because
I'm always
so much
in depth
to watch
into the subject matter, and they're actually adding to it. So if you are familiar with it, it'll be enhanced, but they're making it so that you don't have to have any idea yet, which is really good.
You don't have to have read the books. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good
Which is
because
good.
probably most people.
There are people out there that don't like to read.
What?
Hey, baby.
That's weird.
So there was one little piece of
Shush.
Uh-oh.
One of the boys got a nosebleed and the other one is freaking out.
Oh no. Oh no.
Just tell him to sit still and like keep his nose covered or something. What are you screaming about?
Look what
He's
Sarah
like, what
has.
the hell are you doing,
it's a puppy.
Mom?
Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
all right. So there was one little piece of news gossip, I guess, because it's not a confirmed piece of news that came
Wait,
out of
hold on.
Comic-Con this last.
Hold on. I'm gonna stop paused recording so I can tell them to shut up. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So, anyways, like I was saying, there was one piece of newsy, gossipy, weird crap that came out of Comic-Con this last weekend that kind of pissed me off because I don't want to see it happen. But Joss Whedon has said he would love to direct the solo Black Widow movie. I would
He's
like him
saying
to
that for
stay as
years.
far as fucking away from Black Widow as he can, please.
He's been saying that before he pissed everybody off. Like, it's a long-term goal.
Yeah, well, they were saying that they weren't going to do a Black Widow movie because it would be they didn't want to do too many female-centric, and they're like, we've already got Captain Marvel planned.
Yeah,
Well,
but
no,
we'd
we
rather
got
have
one.
Black Widow. So
There's only room
yeah.
for one female to have her own solo movie in the Marvel universe.
Nope.
They were talking
But-
about finally developing it a couple months ago, though.
But the big difference happened once Marvel Studios split away from Marvel and went under Disney control. They weren't answering to whatever his name is, the head honcho guy at Marvel anymore, who was apparently quite sexist and racist.
Yes.
Oh, charming. So that's why there's Black Panther now.
Yeah.
Because Black Panther's been on the back burner for a good 5-6 years, and then all of a sudden it got green lighted, and that was
Oh my
right
God, it
around
looks
when
so
Disney.
cool.
Oh yes,
The
it does.
cast-
Joss,
the cast
I'm sorry.
Amazing.
Joss Whedon did an amazing job with Buffy. I will give him Buffy. He did a subpar job with Angel. I have issues with the final seasons of that show, and I always will.
He wasn't really too involved in the final season.
No,
so.
he wasn't. No,
He was
wasn't.
already doing other stuff by then.
Yeah, he did an amazing job with Firefly. I love Firefly. And then he did the first Avengers movie, which was amazing. I loved it. Oh my God, I'm so happy. This is perfection. And then he did Avengers 2. And it's like, what? Half-developed ideas. He didn't seem to know what he was doing with any of the characters.
Well, the big problem with Avengers 2 is he made like a 3.5-hour movie and then had to trim it. And then a bunch of stuff got cut out. And then
the stuff that was explained more,
it felt really disjointed
because
of that.
like when you watch the previews, like when Thor goes into the cave with Dr. Selvig, there was supposed to be more there, and he goes into the water, and then that's the last we see of it. And then all of a sudden he comes back and he's like, "Oh, I'm putting my hammer down on the casket here."
But the DVD doesn't have an extra hour and a half of deleted scenes to make up for it. So like, give me the damn
If you
scene.
had given me that, I'd be happier.
Yeah,
But
it ended up being problematic, but I think he was really burned out, and he shouldn't have made the second one because he was already burned out from the first one.
He should have handed
Let the
it off
Russos.
because
The
it was
problem is he was contractually obligated, and
I know.
he felt like he had to do it. And
Yeah.
you know, I love Joss Whedon, and I have a lot of respect for him, but I think he ended up getting too big for his own good and taking on more than he
couldn't live up to his own expectation.
I have more issues with him besides the Avengers 2 movie, but I'm not going to put those on here because it's just there's been interviews with actresses he's worked with where he doesn't come off as great as everybody makes him out to be. And it bothers me. So I don't know. I'm iffy about him these days.
Well, I think the part of the problem is that everyone was giving Joss Whedon credit for everything when it was Mutant Enemy. It was a collaborative effort. It was Drew Greenberg. It was Marty Noxon. It was it was all of these people together that made Buffy tick, and
Yeah.
people just kept saying Joss, 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 and Joss was the creative mind behind it, but he
Yeah.
wasn't.
He didn't
looking
do
at
all the
that.
storylines.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, my whole issues with Angel was basically because he walked away from it the last 2 seasons because he was not happy in the direction that they took the show. It was the whole storyline with Connor, that wasn't how it was supposed to go down. The whole storyline with Cordelia, not how it was supposed to go down. And the Connor
Both of
and
which are
Cordelia
storylines I hate.
Yeah,
Let's
both
get away from that, because then we're going to start talking about the witness baby, and I'm just going to vomit everywhere. So let's just move on.
No star babies. You know who's
Sarah, Sam has to come back and punch the witness baby through the head.
I know, that's why I had to find that thread, because I was like, man, damn it. And it took me 20 minutes. It took me 20 minutes to find that fucking thread.
Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, we'll move on
Marvel
from
right. We'll move on to who's
Netflix.
doing Marvel right, which is Netflix. Whoever the hell is in charge of Netflix is doing it right.
Luke Cage. Oh my god. All 3 previews were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
The Luke Cage preview had me jonesing so hard that I started rewatching Jessica Jones again. Which
Yes.
is like the 3rd or 4th or 5th. I'm not, maybe 6th or 7th.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure how many times.
I literally just fell in love with David Tennant all over again during that. It was just like, he's so perfect. And she was so perfect. And
I don't want to see him evil.
Was so perfect.
Oh
my
so
god,
good at
Sam,
being
if you have not
creepy.
watched it, you need to
I watched the
watch
first
it.
3.
Oh my god.
I watched the first 3 episodes, but David Tennant is my #1 future husband, and I don't want to see him being scary and gross.
Oh, well, he's.
It's not scary and gross per se.
It's because he reminds me of my ex, who is a manipulative psychopath. But
I'm so lucky that I haven't experienced that yet.
Yes.
I wouldn't.
But no, he's fantastic.
He is.
It's really lovely to see the dark side of him, because it shows his range as an actor.
Yes, exactly. It shows his acting range. Yeah. Because it's like up to that point, my only experience with David Tennant was literally as the Doctor. I've only known him as happy, cheerful, go lucky Doctor. And
I have watched so many of his things.
I did.
It's probably embarrassing.
Yeah.
What's the cop show that he was on?
Broadchurch?
Yeah.
Or the other one?
Broadchurch.
Broadchurch is really good, but it's hideously depressing. Don't mainline Broadchurch, or you'll want to jump off that damn cliff that's in the show.
All right, I will remember that when I get to it, because it is on my list of things to watch.
It is so good, and it is so well done, but it's heavy.
He was, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, though, the only thing I've actually seen him in until I watched Jessica Jones was Doctor Who, and I was like, oh God, how is he going to play this villain? I mean, I was leery, and then he did it, and I was like,
I'm pretty sure he could do anything. They could hand him any script intended for any person, and he could do it.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I have no doubt.
But did you guys watch the Nerd HQ with the Shield cast, where Clark Gregg was trying very politely to say that he's mad that he can't be on Netflix shows?
I did hear about that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, though, because I just, on my Twitter, an article just popped up, how Doctor Strange brought Ghost Rider to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And it's about the history of how Ghost Rider is ending up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen next
season. I saw the reveal of the car.
Yeah.
And that was really
am
cool.
Sort of like, I don't
with flames.
I don't really care about Ghost Rider. He's like my brother's favorite ever, but I don't really care about him. But what I care about is that they're finally giving something important to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Like, they've been dicking around with the show about how it can even impact anything, but Ghost Rider's a major character.
Yes, he
So-
is. Yes.
That's
I
finally something big for the show.
I guess it has.
I always forget that, Maria. I always forget that he played Barty Crouch. I did forget that.
The actual
Dave
Barty
says-
Crouch.
Yeah, he was the actual Barty Crouch Jr. I always seem to forget that, even though I know it. Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to respond to what Maria said there.
No, it's like
No,
I can't
those
read
all
the-
three of those previews, even the one for the Defenders, which wasn't much, it's still
Yeah,
like
that
it was
was
like it was still enough to go, ooh, I'm gonna check this out when it comes out.
I was going to anyway. Like, before
Yeah.
Daredevil even showed, they were like, we got 4 shows, and then we're going to make them into 1 show afterwards. And I'm like, yes!
Yay.
Oh yeah, when I watched season 1 of Daredevil, I was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" But then when I saw Jessica Jones, I was just like,
It
"Holy
was.
shit!"
I will admit, I
I was
still need to
telling-
finish season 2 of Daredevil.
It,
I was
it's good.
telling-
I think season 2 is better than season 1.
Yeah,
but I still
I've
think
watched
that Jessica
half-
Jones is better.
I
than
watched
both
half of
seasons.
season 2, and then after they arrested the Punisher, I was just like, "Bye, Sean. I'll come back and finish this later."
Getting his own show, too.
So
Yeah, I know.
apparently, because of Doctor Strange entering the Marvel universe,
Mhm.
because of all of the weirdness with the magic with Doctor Strange,
Right.
that's how it opens up for Ghost Rider to enter into
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah. Makes sense.
It says that they're
I wonder if they're
going
going
to
to
be
keep it.
introducing. They're going to be introducing magical elements into the show as well as the hardcore science.
Right.
I wonder if it's going to still be magic, technically, or if they're going to be like, alien technology is indistinguishable.
Well, they're
Like-
being pretty clear in the Doctor Strange
Strange,
previews that
that
it
it looks
is
like
magic.
magic.
It's not technology or alien tech or alien injections or anything like that. It's straight up. It looks like it's going to be magic.
It looks.
Well, it's magic
so
enough that Tilda
freaking
Swinton
cool.
is an Asian guy, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty magical.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that argument.
Let's not get into that.
Because Tilda Swinton could like stare at a rock for 20 minutes and I would watch it. I mean,
Dude,
I
right?
really don't care.
Basically, yeah.
But it looks so cool.
play
When the
a
guy
mummy
punches
wrapped
the
up.
thing, and the thing
I-
goes like that, and then the thing, and like
Like
it looks so
like
cool.
Inception 2.0.
Yeah, it just looks like it's going to be very good. Cannot wait to see that in November.
Oh,
Definitely. We'll probably
want that
be
action
seeing it
figure.
opening weekend.
Plus it's Benedict Cabbage Patch. I mean,
Cabbage
yeah, you can't go wrong with them.
See, I'm
I
waiting
love
over
him.
here. I'm waiting for Barbara to say something because we're sitting here talking about her absolutely, probably like second favorite X-Men in the entire world, and she's just like winking at me.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, she loves her some Doctor Strange. There we go. She said something.
I always liked him because he looked like
We're
Doctor
talking
Strange.
about Doctor Strange. I am
He's
shocked that
so-
you're not saying stuff. I
He's
see how it
so
is.
weird, so weird in the comics that I was like, as soon as they announced they were gonna make a movie, I was like, I want to see how they do it. I don't care if it's
Yeah,
good.
same.
I don't care who's in it. I want to see
We just
how
need
they
to
do
see
it.
it. Yeah. Well, we're
Because I
talking
wanna see
about
that-
Doctor Strange now, Barbara.
But that's a perfect crossover point. He's on Earth, but he's weird and cosmic. The Guardians are out there
Yeah.
being cosmic and weird differently, but they could connect.
Yeah.
Shield has alternate
Yeah. So
realities.
somehow,
So
right?
start using this shit. Bring it together.
Yeah. Bring it all together.
Let me be in charge of Phase 3.
But I am surprised though that they ended up doing the Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that seems more like something that would show up in Daredevil or even like
Yeah.
its own mini series on
It,
Netflix.
it's definitely a doctor thing, but aren't they? Clark Gregg kept saying they're on a later time when they come back, so they're going to be getting more serious. And I'm wondering if it's
they're
like
going to be on a later time.
I'm wondering if it's like an X-Files situation where it took 4 years to hit it right, and then it's going to be the best episode we ever saw.
I
can only
been
hope
hanging in
because-
there. You know, I'm loyal to a fault when it comes to TV shows. I've been hanging in there, and like there were a lot of times where I was disappointed, but then it would pick back up, and I was like, "This is why I watched Agents of Shield." Yes, and then it would go like,
there was a show.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not my favorite, but I adore the characters, and I get mad when their stories are stupid because they're so fun. And like Clark Gregg is another one that I would like. He could read the phone book at me or tell me what's on a takeout menu, and I would be fine.
Yes.
Like, just film that
and that's
shit.
why
I
we were
could
tweeting
sit there and
real
have
life
to-
tweeting the finale, and he was like, "You guys, watch it with the spoilers." And it was like, "Sorry, Daddy." Like I felt, I felt scolded by Clark Gregg because it was like, "Oh my god." He said,
I got directly scolded by Terry once.
"Oh yeah."
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Well, what was
There were sort of spoilers. They kind of popped way before the Paley event, even.
It was
Popped up.
it
for
was
the
an
season
episode
finale.
synopsis, and I got carried away and posted it, and he was like, "No," and I was like, "Sorry."
Delete.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, we us Paley people were so careful. And then there were people going, "Oh, I wish the Paley people would shut up." And I was like, "Oh, hell no."
Yeah, well,
Nope.
it's you know, there's always one or two rotten apples, and then it gets transferred
There
on
always
to
is.
everyone. And there were a couple
Yeah.
of people that were being spoilery and should have kept their mouth shut, but they were like
Right.
enjoying the
But
fact that they had
there's
information
three-
available over people.
There's remarkably few in this fandom, though. Like, it's amazing.
Oh yeah,
It really
I mean,
is. This
statistically.
has been an amazingly great fandom to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, percentage-wise, the amount of people that went to see it, the amount of people that were being little bitches about it, you know,
Yeah.
it shows how devoted people really are to that show.
It's like I behaved myself very well, except for once or twice where I was like, "Oh my god, I want to say something," and then I would get offline for a little
Oh,
while.
you
I
were
can't
so
imagine
cute,
how
though.
hard that would be.
Just tweeting whines. In my head, I was just hearing it. I was like, strangled, gasping.
Like I
noises.
would, I literally after I saw like the episodes at the Paley Center, I would go back and watch episodes from season 2, and I'd be like, "Oh!" I'd be like, "I want to say something, but I can't."
Let's get back off the 12 monkeys. Let's go back to San
get back to
Diego.
monkeys.
I think
Back
that
to
it's gonna wind up being a drinking game for our show. Like, whenever we accidentally start talking about 12 monkeys, everyone's gonna start taking shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I'll have
though,
to go grab a bottle of tequila from the other room.
Did you guys see the preview for Legion?
Yes, I am so watching that this fall. Is that this fall or is it next year?
Dude, I don't even know.
Oh,
I don't see it on the list when I just looked up when shows are coming back yet. But that doesn't mean it won't be.
Okay,
Is that the show that's been on Showtime?
no,
No,
Legion is about Professor Xavier's son.
Oh.
And he's like an
Yeah.
level mutant who can warp reality, and it looks super trippy. It looks like the Magicians, only weirder.
It looks so fun, and I cannot wait to watch it. I am so excited for that one.
Like,
'Cause I love being able to.
I never even heard about it until they were like, "Here's the new Legion trailer," and I'm like, "What?" But
I read
X-Men,
something about it a
Is
couple
that a
weeks
movie?
ago.
the show.
It's going to be a TV show.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the first
Doesn't
X-Men
seem to
TV
be-
show, and I think it's in continuity even.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think it was going to be on FX, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yes. FX.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I cannot get comfortable, and I sit forward. It gets too dark in here. This sucks. I need better lighting in
And
my
that
room.
is one that I missed.
Yeah,
There
it
were
was.
a lot of announcements
It was.
to keep track of.
Yeah. No, there were.
I haven't even watched all the panels yet. I've watched like 2 panels and 3 Nerd HQs and about 78 trailers. Like that's most of what my research was.
I watched a lot of trailers. I have no idea how many.
I basically watched everything to do with Prison Break, and that took me like all of yesterday.
You and your little obsession with those boys.
They're
can't
so
help
good,
it.
and they're
so adorable.
And they're together on 2 separate shows right now.
I know, and it makes me so happy. And I'm gonna say it right now because when Snart shows back up on Legends of Tomorrow, if we do not get a snarky ass hello Mick, I will be pissed as hell.
I just want Sarah to slap the shit out of him. That's what I want.
Yes, that too. But what I am assuming is the Len we're going to get with the Legion of Doom is going to be a past version of him. It is not going to be the version that we had in the first season.
You shut up. No, it needs to be my good perfect one.
That's the great thing about time travel.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to get our good boy back from last season. At least not in season 2.
Do not give them excuses.
And I'm behaving myself because I know there's somebody who's going to watch this on YouTube later and they still haven't watched season 1 and they're like, don't spoil anything. Because she doesn't know how season 1 ends. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I re-recorded it because they the last couple weeks they've been showing 2 episodes every Wednesday. And I've told people, I'm like, it's on right now. Nobody goes and watches it. I'm like, that's all your own fault.
I did not catch that. No, I think it's Wednesday is like my brain. I'm like Mr. Robot. Like,
that's another show. I
psychologically prepare myself for Mr. Robot. It's like 12 months.
Mr. Robot yet.
Yeah, me neither, so don't feel bad, Sam.
I watched last season, but I haven't watched anything of the new one. The last one, it was in a gap and it ate up my brain, but I can't really say I enjoyed it, even though it was really good. It's such a strange thing.
And there's a lot so this season, a lot more than in the first season, and we're only
there was a lot.
Couple episodes in. So
I'm sure I will watch it eventually. Either I'll catch it in reruns somewhere,
it's kind of an ordeal though. Like I feel like I'm going to therapy and I that's why I'm I have to mentally prepare myself. I have to get in the right headspace for Mr. Robot. I love that show though.
It gave me sort of the same feeling as Children of Men, where it's really good and it's worth watching, but it's also like hitting yourself in the face with a cinder block.
It's kind of like.
Well, that's a good description.
12 Monkeys does that to an extent as well. So
12 Monkeys gets close, but doesn't. It's not as uncomfortable.
The last half of the second season was off the one of punching myself in the face.
But there was
the show.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, there is a little bit of humor in Mr. Robot. It's very, very dark. It's not Jennifer Bowen's silly, slapsticky kind of humor. It's really dark humor, so it doesn't lighten it a whole lot. But if that wasn't there, oh my god, I'd be splitting my wrists.
The first season of Mr. Robot sort of poked me in all of my first millennial issues. It would make me mad on a political level, and I'm like, I can't watch this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously with the election, shit's crazy right now, and watching Mr. Robot, it for me, it's it's a healthy escape from the frustration that I feel politically in my real life, because I can kind of transfer it onto the show and like, oh, this is fiction, and like kind of deal with it that way. And even
Well, that's what fiction's for. Like,
even though it's incredibly
Right.
real, and it's not very fictional, but I'm like, I can remind myself it's just a show. It's just
Right.
a show. It's just a show. But you know, I it's okay. Like I you know, the election, I feel like it's a good thing because it's preparing me, because I got my Hallows Scream role. I'm going to be playing a sane asylum patient that's escaped. Apparently, I'm a cannibal as well. So I feel like the election's preparing me for that.
Woohoo!
So I get to spend most of September and all of October playing a psychotic cannibal escaped asylum.
The election is preparing me for inventing space travel on my own dime just to get off the planet.
There you go.
I'm gonna fuck off to the moon like any day now.
I'm gonna get in my nope rocket and nope myself right on off
Nope
to the
into
nope
the
room.
sun.
Nope into the sun.
I think that we need to come up with some splinter technology and like fix this timeline.
Dude, right?
And like go back and like make it so Donald Trump is never born.
Yeah, have his daddy a condom.
You know that episode of Community where they rolled the dice and they kept getting different realities? This is like the worst one. We should just all be wearing goatees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything is on fire.
Yeah, do over.
Okay, Barbara's got it right. She says she's not stopping the army of 12 monkeys all because of the presidential election.
Not stopping the army of the 12 monkeys because of the presidential election.
Yeah, she's gonna let the virus wipe us all out.
Not stop. Okay. I thought she meant something about like she wasn't gonna stop watching the show. I'm like, the show's not gonna be on until after we get our results. Like, that's gonna
stop.
Our results, like we're waiting on whether we're dying or not.
Yeah, it's a pregnancy test.
Our test results are either negative or negative.
It's like a Maury episode, and it's the paternity. Like, you
are
not the father. Thank God.
You are not the president.
Oh my God! I don't know how this is possible.
Yes, you are not the father. We don't want him.
All right, let's get off politics.
Back to San Diego.
Back to San Diego.
Where it's nice and warm.
I am looking at.
I've got 3 left. I've covered quite a few of mine. What do you want to cover here, Sam?
What's left on my list? Blind Spot kind of was pissing me off. Am I the only one who watched Blind Spot?
Got canceled.
No, it got renewed like halfway
I heard
through.
that got canceled.
No, it got renewed.
Oh,
Their second season.
somebody told me it got canceled.
Somebody lied to you.
No. What's his name's joining the cast?
I don't know, somebody. But like,
it was
Somebody.
the first season,
I think it's one of the guys from S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it was the guy who played Lincoln on S.H.I.E.L.D. I think
that
he's joining.
Oh, okay.
but like, the trailer for the second season has them all at odds, and I really don't want to suffer through another favorite show with a whole season of them at odds. This is a full-length season. Stop it with the second season's at odds. Fuck that shit.
I've never watched Blind Spot. I was
Yeah,
that was
me
one of
neither.
those that I was kind of waiting to see if it made it past the.
I
first
think it
season.
came on during like something else I was watching, so I picked the something else over it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember what
and then figured I would catch it later.
it was. The first season was so good, and the first half of the first season was the second shippiest thing that happened last year. The first shippiest being 12 monkeys.
Yeah, Luke Mitchell, the guy who played Lincoln, from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Michelle Hurd from Daredevil. I don't remember who Michelle Hurd was.
Yeah. They had like
Michelle
they had a
Hurd.
big shakeup and a whole bunch of crazy stuff happened in the finale, and I was sobbing hysterically this same night as some big thing happened on 12 Monkeys, and it was just a
Michelle
very
Hurd.
emotional weekend.
She was on SVU.
Oh, I never watched
that. No.
I did long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was SVU. She was on like the first season of SVU. She was the black detective who enjoyed going out and killing people or something. I don't remember. They kicked her off the squad.
I never
But,
watched SVU.
Yeah, no,
That-
me
that
neither.
whole-
Well, I did, but I don't.
That whole franchise is too serious and doesn't have enough non-cops to make me happy. I like my cop shows to have non-cops in them, like
Yeah,
Blind Spot,
It's
Scorpion.
it's pretty straight
Castle.
procedural. I mean, there's a little bit of stuff that goes on in their personal lives, but it's mostly, episode to episode procedural stuff.
The case is the least important part to me in a cop show. Like, most of the time after the first season, I don't give a crap.
But yeah, it's one of those things to watch on a rainy day when they're doing a marathon on USA, because you can kind of pick it up.
That's why I watch NCIS. That's what that's for.
Yeah,
That,
they do
I
those
love
too.
NCIS.
Yeah, NCIS has a little bit more of their personal lives than the SVU stuff.
And NCIS is most of the time full of goofball weirdos, which I can handle.
Yeah.
I like my crime solvers to be goofball weirdos.
Except
that's why I like Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds is another one that's pretty wacky. I haven't watched any of this last season of it, but
I've only seen the old ones that they play in the afternoon on whatever channel that is.
I watched it on Netflix.
That's what I'm doing currently.
Over the course of a month, and I watched all the seasons up through season 5 or 6.
I'm on season 9.
So that's when I started watching it live, and I started actually watching it on TV then.
Yeah,
I watched it up through that to catch up.
I'm Netflixing all of. I'm Netflixing all of Leverage right now, and sometime in the second season, it occurred to me that it hits a lot of the same points that Nikita did, but in a funny way rather than a serious way. So
I might have to check it out.
It's like lighting up the same parts of my brain on a brain scan, but from a different direction.
Leverage is the one that had Lindsay from Angel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Christian Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah. and the most adorable sociopathic thief you ever saw on any show.
I've watched a few episodes of it, because it's one that you kind of jump in. It's not like 12 Monkeys where you have to know what the hell
Take a drink.
is going on.
Yeah, don't miss an episode or you'll.
Yeah. What else is on my list? Oh, Dirk Gently. Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, which I have the book but never read it.
I must have missed that one.
It looks like so much fun.
It's been a while. Max Landis is the creative mind behind that, bringing that one to screen. And the only thing of Max Landis's I've ever seen was his Death of Superman YouTube video. I don't know if you've seen that. It's hilarious.
I never did.
He basically picks apart the whole death and rebirth of Superman storyline, and talks about kind of how it kind of ruined comics as far as them all of a sudden being like, oh yeah, so-and-so is dead, but he's back to life. But he got a bunch of his Hollywood friends, because Max Landis is John Landis' son. So you know, he grew up watching his dad make all these movies. He grew up in Hollywood, so he's got all these Hollywood friends. So, you should Google the Life and Death of Superman, Max Landis. It's actually pretty funny. It's like 20 minutes long. It's not too long.
I will check it out, definitely.
It's super low budget, like deliberately. The costumes are terrible. But it's like it's all a part of the appeal. It's very funny.
Right.
He's kind of weird. I follow him on Twitter. He's an odd bird. He really is. But I mean, I can only imagine what it'd be like growing up with someone like John Landis as your father, anyway.
Right.
But I think it's probably going to be pretty good. He's weird, but he seems like he's got a fun sense of humor. And
well, the preview for that show,
Adams stuff is weird humor.
Yeah, Douglas Adams is a weirdo, and the ad for the show looked really fun, like bizarre and off the wall, but also like one of those things where you're just like,
yeah.
I'm
definitely going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
The preview looked good enough for me. I was not too thrilled with the Time After Time preview.
Yeah, Time After Time looks like it's going to be pretty done.
Cheesy, and I don't think it's going to make it past the season. I really don't. I mean, I would love to, be wrong and have it turn out to be awesome and go on for years, but I
don't know the source material.
I love
the
movie.
Because
I really love the movie. I mean, the movie's it's old. It's in the late 70s, early 80s, but it was Malcolm McDowell played Orson Welles and Orwell and oh shit, I've got all my words all mixed up. Anyway, what's his face? The bad guy, Evil from Time Bandits. He plays the other character, which they said in the preview, which I can't believe that they said it in the preview, that he's Jack the Ripper, because it's supposed to be kind of like a mystery. At least in the movie it is, but in the preview they said
in the show
they're chasing Jack the Ripper.
In the show, it seems like they're gonna blow through the plot of the movie really fast, from what I saw.
Yeah.
Like there's only
in the first couple
so much
episodes.
You can stretch it out anyway. But I was thinking it would be great if he's like, look at this bright new world to destroy with my knife, and then he gets there and it's not interesting because everybody's better at not getting killed. And then he has to change tactics, and then it's a different time travel show.
Yeah, I think if
it would probably piss people off.
Comedy like that would actually probably be funny. But it sounds like they're trying to be a serious adaptation, and it's like
it ain't serious.
On the cheesy side of serious.
Who's it made by? It's made by somebody else who made some dumb thing that I didn't like. So I don't know if I'm even really gonna like it. But
yeah, I mean I would give it a shot because I love the movie, but I don't think I'm gonna like the show.
I'll give it a shot because I like time travel and I watch every new show every year. But
it's Kevin Williamson.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Kevin Williamson? Oh, he's like Scream.
Yeah, he did the Scream movies, Vampire Diaries,
Dawson's Creek.
Creek.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Stalker. Yeah. He does a lot of horror.
Yeah. Except for Dawson's Creek. Although
that was horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was horrific.
Yeah.
Wasteland, The Faculty, Scream 2, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Which I tried. I really tried with The Following. I really tried. But that was horrible.
Yeah, I like The Faculty out of that list. Everything else on that list was stuff that was aimed specifically at me at every point when it happened, and I still didn't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like.
and the faculty. Yeah, that's Teaching Mrs. Tingle. I actually like that one.
I've not seen that one.
One of the other time travel ones is being done by McGee, who I do like the shows that he makes.
Oh, that's the
Is that one Timeless?
Timeless.
All of them have time in the name. It's too on the nose. They need to be more interesting.
It's gonna get it's gonna get confusing.
But I do like McGee's shows generally. So that one already is higher up on my.
I did not write
on my to watch list. Maria says they want to make sure they know what the show is about, and I'm like, but it's going to be so confusing having 3 shows with time in the title.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call them the time. So I'm going to call them the stupid time and the good time. And watch me wind up loving all of them and then hating myself in the past for saying that.
Right. We all have it here on record. Sam has said she's going to hate them, but now watch, she'll love them.
You know what? I am always like happy to be wrong and enjoy something that I just
I want like to be
12 Monkeys. I mean 12 Monkeys. I really didn't expect to like it, because it was just an adaptation on sci-fi.
Yeah, I know.
Movie that I really enjoyed.
Had like no faith.
I was terrified. I mean, I loved the movie. I loved Aaron Stanford, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to watch it. A, for Aaron Stanford, and B, because I love the movie. But they're not. I'm like, they're not going to do as good with a TV show as they did with that movie.
I didn't really even know Aaron Stanford. I mean, he was that guy from the X-Men, and like he was in the other movie or whatever. But he was just like some dude.
The other movie.
Yeah, he totally dropped off my radar.
Vaguely knew.
He dropped off my radar.
Yeah, I watched Nikita after.
My mom was a huge John Ritter fan, and so of course we ended up watching Tadpole. And I'm like, oh, who's the little cutie? Turned out the little cutie was older than me when I thought he was younger than me. And
turned out he was 23 playing 15 because of that baby face.
Right? I absolutely loved Tadpole, Maria. It is so cute and just funny, and the story, when you read the synopsis of Tadpole, it's like, I don't know if I want to watch this, but then you just sit down and it's like Sigourney Weaver, John Ritter, Bebe Neuwirth, and Aaron Stanford, and it's
Bebe
comedy.
Neuwirth.
I do too. It's so good, and it is creepy because it's like, oh, he's in love with his stepmom. That's creepy, but the stepmom doesn't do anything to bring that on. She's very loving and kind to him.
If you want super cute from one of his other things, go for Flakes.
I need to see that still.
It's so cute. And it's so very much like living in the town that I used to live in. Like, it's set in New Orleans or something, but it's so perfectly describes how ridiculous it is to live in a small, weird town.
Perfect. The only thing I had issues with in Tadpole was him and Bebe Neuwirth. That did bug me, but I got over it.
Bebe Neuwirth is the stepmom?
No, Bebe Neuwirth is the friend of the stepmom.
Oh, okay.
The masseuse. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver plays the stepmom. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's the stepmom. Bebe Neuwirth is the masseuse. Yes.
Massage therapist.
Yes, the massage therapist. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it. That's the only problem, Maria. It's a good movie. Not very. Not like, it wasn't super creepy. It was 100% willing on both parts.
The Hills Have Eyes. That's the other movie that I knew him from.
Yes, that's a good movie too. I love that movie.
Yeah, so he was the dude from The Hills Have Eyes and the X-Men, and like
Yeah.
He wasn't anybody to me. He was just like a vaguely familiar face. So, I mean, you know, when I started watching, it was just like, who are these people? I don't know them. But you know what? I sometimes prefer a show where I go in and the people can just be those characters for me. Like, there's no baggage, there's no past. I don't look at them. Like, whenever I see Brad Pitt in a movie, no matter how good he's acting, no matter how different he looks, he's still fucking Brad Pitt. I'm like, that's Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of nice to have a show when you have people that are unknowns or relatively unknowns and don't have a lot of baggage. Back to San Diego. Was there anything else on your list?
I have 2 things left, but I don't want to like overtake the show talking about Prison Break.
Both of your things are Prison Break?
One is Prison Break, the other is one is Prison Break, the other is The Walking Dead.
Okay, let's go to Walking Dead.
All right. The preview was amazing, and I can't wait to see the new season because I was hearing rumors that Carol's character was basically not going to exist next season, and I love Carol, and Carol is awesome. And I honestly
catching up.
Yeah. She is in it. She's in quite a bit of the preview, so she's in next season.
The problem with that show is the same problem with Game of Thrones, where they make you love someone and then they keep killing them. And there's only so much of that I can take. And after a certain point, if anything happens to Carol or Daryl or Michonne, like I'm
done.
I'm never coming back. I hate
that's the difficulty. That's that fine line with those anyone can die shows, is because you have people like Jon Snow, where when he died, everyone knew that he wasn't going to stay dead because he's Jon fucking Snow. And if something happens and Daryl dies, just like Glenn climbing under that dumpster, you know, like we all knew that Glenn wasn't dead. We all knew that.
You knew.
There are certain characters that are like Daryl. Like the audience would revolt. They would lose like half their viewers if they killed Daryl.
It's sad because don't get me wrong, Norman is an amazing actor, but he's not the show.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people who like worship Daryl, like not even Norman Reedus, like Daryl, like they emulate Daryl.
The problem with that show is that the characters carry you through the questionable story choices, and if they kill the characters you care about, there's nothing to carry you through when the story goes south.
Right.
Because that's what happened on Hell on Wheels. I loved the first season of Hell on Wheels, and then in the third, like, a show about a train should not go off the rails. And it literally went off the rails.
I know.
They killed everybody. They fucked up everybody else, and I just did not give a shit anymore, and I haven't even caught up. It's on their last season, and I feel like I should, and I just don't want to.
Totally random comment. I love giving props because I get to watch the little hyena head float.
The little hyena.
I like it.
We've got so many hyenas.
Leave me alone. I love my hyena.
What a bunch of hyenas.
But no, I was like really worried because I've read all the comic books. And so I was really worried that we were coming up on the Kingdom and Sheba. And I was like, how are they going to pull that off? Is this because it's TV? How good are they going to pull off that CGI? And
we're way past what I read. I only read like the first 2 trade paperbacks, so we're way past what I've read.
Sheba would be the tiger.
It keeps diverging and then coming back anyway. So even reading the comic, you don't know what's exactly going to happen on the show.
Exactly. But the tiger is obviously going to be there.
Yeah, I saw a picture.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I watched the preview and then I like reblogged it on my Facebook, and my mom sends me a private message and she goes, Is this a real preview? Why is there a tiger? And I'm like, because there was in the comic books.
Dude,
Because why the hell
I want a post-apocalyptic show with more weird-ass giant animals, because
Yes!
there's so many zoos everywhere. So why aren't there freaking elephants and like lions and tigers just wandering around post-apocalypse?
I don't know if any of you guys have read, either of you guys have read,
People
or
have
anyone in the
eaten them
chat
already.
have read the Rotten Ruin series by Jonathan Marbury.
I've read the first one and I've met him.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, but that's besides the point.
He came and talked at my school. He's an interesting dude.
Oh, that's so cool. But no,
Yeah.
I want to say the second book, the older brother takes his younger brother and like a couple of the other kids from the village out on like a mission, and they run into a rhinoceros, and then in another book they're stalked by a pride of lions, and this whole series of books takes place in the United States.
I'm fucking saying, there's zoos everywhere. There's
Yeah,
more animals in zoos than in the wild.
Yeah, I think that they've, at least in the Walking Dead world, I would think that most of them have been eaten either by humans or by zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fucking show that.
Like, I
Oh my
would
God,
eat
show
an
us.
elephant if it came down
Stop
to
showing
it.
them killing horses. Stop killing horses. Kill something else.
I want
Well,
to see
I don't-
survivors hunting an elephant like ancient ancestors with mammoths. That would be
But,
cool.
yeah, I think part of the problem with that is most zoos are in urban population centers, and they're trying to avoid those population centers.
That is
because
true,
they're-
yeah.
they're
Yeah,
full of
true.
undead.
They could
So,
have
I
a
mean,
mountain
it-
lion. They could have a mountain lion stalking around in the ruin of a high rise,
Town or something, yeah.
Yeah,
dropping down from the
That-
sky on them when they're trying to get supplies.
that'd be kind
Because
of
they
a
make us
fun,
more things to be afraid of.
kind of
And
a,
it's just-
a fun fight, like undead versus a mountain lion. Like, you know, who would come out on top?
Yeah. And it's like, I'm trying to think. We've only in, what, 7 seasons? We're coming up on season 7. We've seen, like, what, 1 dog?
Yeah, by
Yeah.
accident, and then it ran away.
Yeah.
They should
And
all
it
have
ran
dogs.
away. There
Every
was no
colony
cats.
should have 87 dogs, because dogs bark and they fight back, and they're faster than people for
Yeah.
fighting off zombies.
Again, though, I think that, you know, there's that whole idea that people are starving and people eat dogs under those conditions.
But
and of
dogs
course
can help you
zombies
hunt
don't care.
too.
Yeah, but when
Yeah.
you're starving, you're going to eat what you got to eat.
And-
Bam, you're
and-
first up.
And yeah, the zombies are, you know, they don't care. They're going to eat a dog. So, you know, I think ideally I would definitely want to have a pack. I mean, I love dogs anyway.
And you know what? I was wrong. We've seen more than one dog, because there was that episode where the pack of dogs attacked somebody
Yeah.
and they killed them, and then the next scene was them all eating over the fire.
Yeah, that was like 2 seasons ago, I think.
Yeah.
It's I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with The Walking Dead at this point.
I keep giving it up and coming back. It's like trying to stop smoking.
like, I still love it, and I mean, I love the development with Rick and Michonne, and I love how like it was kind of back burner. Like, it wasn't like they made a big huge deal out of it. I mean, the
Right.
audience did, but
Right.
I thought it was kind of realistic the way it just happened because of those conditions of it. But I think, you know, a lot of the other developments on that show have like kind of gotten under my skin. It's just like cheap thrills, and I was kind of reading like some takedowns from like John Carpenter and Romero, like the way they feel like they've kind of dropped the ball with The Walking Dead by taking a lot of the social message out of it. So,
Yeah.
I get bored with how bleak it is most of the time. Like, every single other person they meet is a cannibal or a murderer or a psychopath, and I'm just like, Come on.
Yeah, can we get a little more excitement? Device is not
There's
compatible.
just, even not necessarily excitement, but just some diversity.
Yeah.
See,
It
I feel like
it seems like they're just going in circles.
when they did the spin-off, I think that they missed a perfect opportunity to have something wildly different. Like it could have been set in frickin' like Wisconsin or something, where the weather is totally different and the situation would be totally different. Like put it somewhere flat and open and cold, and it would be a different story.
And the unfortunate
Nobody
fact
wants to film in Wisconsin. What are you talking
exactly.
about?
Nobody wants to film in Wisconsin because nobody wants to film in the snow.
They can just film it in Canada like everything else.
Yeah, but they film sound stages in Canada. Like they don't actually go outside and freeze their asses off. Like every once in a while they go outside for those, and they like do those shoots when the weather is nice. And you know
they did for
like,
5 years in X-Files.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better,
I know. It was great. All of them pretending they weren't cold all the time. I love it when people on TV pretend they're not cold and like there's just clouds of breath and they're like, oh, it's fine with their low-cut shirts.
At least they were allowed to wear coats on the X-Files.
Yeah, there's been other shows where you're like, you know, it's dead of winter and they're filming and they're in like little tank tops.
Everyone's nose is bright red and like their breasts blooming and they're acting like it's like summertime.
I'm looking sexy in Canada.
I'm trying to remember what I was watching. It was like one of those crime shows, and it was supposed to be like summer or something when the murder happened. And the body's laying there on the ground, and you just see this plume of smoke come up from the body. And I'm like, that was a total failure on the tech part, for one. And then, like, two, it's cold as fuck wherever they're filming that.
If your body is breathing.
If you follow me tweeting, whenever somebody's pretending it's not cold, I comment on it. Like, it's literally one of my favorite things. It's like how if they're carrying around an empty cup pretending there's a drink in it, how much I hate that. It's like the opposite of that. How much I love when they're pretending they're not cold. Like,
right. And then it's like, I love that about, I've got it ready here because I'm going to bring it up. 12 Monkeys. That they're all wearing winter clothes at all times when they're in the future.
Permanent winter.
It is.
Well, they're in Canada, so it's cold when they're like outside. You know.
At least it wasn't.
I mean, even if it's supposed to be, if it's supposed to be like like suburban Philadelphia, is that where Raritan's supposed to be?
Yeah,
New Jersey, Raritan.
Yeah, so it's reasonably cold there. I mean, it's unbearable in the summers, but I guess with the time anomalies or whatever, it becomes Canada.
Yay!
It's because it's Canada, but more 12 Monkeys talk.
Yeah. I took my drink for it already. What else do you have to talk about, Sam?
That's not Prison Break.
Yep, that's not Prison Break. I'm going to behave myself.
Well, there's Prison Break. No. I've still only seen like 5 episodes of Prison Break. I need to catch up before that show starts.
I need to finish season 4, so don't feel bad.
It's still on?
No, it's on Netflix.
Prison Break? It's on Netflix, but there's going to be a new season next spring. Just like how they did the X-Files. Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks amazing. But anyway.
Done by the guy that did Dominion.
Like
yes.
By who?
What's his name? Von Wilmot?
The guy who did Dominion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's left on my list?
There is. Because all I have left is Prison Break now.
Yeah, when you mentioned Legion, that was the show I was thinking of, was Dominion.
Lucifer, Fantastic Beasts, and that new King Arthur. That's what's left on my list.
All right, so we got 3 things for you.
On Lucifer.
What?
I've not watched.
I said Trisha Helfer on Lucifer.
I'm happy about that. That might be enough to get me to turn in.
That's
Lucifer is
She's
so
gonna be playing
freaking
Lucifer's
fun.
mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
His mom, who was locked up in hell.
Yeah,
And got
like
out.
apparently like a crazy wild bitch, which Trisha Helfer is so good at that.
She is amazing.
I want to
at
know,
that.
like who is the devil's mom though? Like, that's the story I want. Because
and that's what we're gonna get.
they're pretty fast and loose with the Bible and with mythology, but they're also weirdly faithful to it.
Yeah.
Well, and that comes from that Neil Gaiman influence. Because
Exactly.
Lucifer was originally.
Yeah, he's a Sandman spinoff, but it ain't like the comic. It's a separate thing. But it's so much fun. Oh my god, it's so much fun. I was so surprised how much I liked it. Like, I watched the first episode and I was like, oh well, I just have a gap in my schedule. I'll just watch this. Something else is gone. They canceled 6 of my other favorite shows. I'll just watch this.
I am not ashamed of how much I love Lucifer because that show is funny as hell.
It is. I was so surprised at how funny and how, like, it's sexy in a tongue-in-cheek sort of way. Like most of the time everybody's rolling their eyes at the whole idea of being sexy, and that makes it bearable.
Yeah, and and it's fun that for whatever reason she's immune to his charms and the whole I don't want to spoilery.
He's so nettled. He's so nettled by how she doesn't give into his devil whammy. Like he has no idea what's going on with her, and it bothers him so much. It's the best thing. It's so great.
Chemistry. They have fantastic chemistry, and I love that banter. It almost kind of like goes back to like the Sam and Diane kind of that whole.
Yeah.
That's
but not as mean.
Sexy. Yeah. Well, I don't know. They're kind of mean.
Well, they're kind of mean, but they also
which obviously is an issue.
Part of the problem. But man, those last couple episodes were so feelsy, and then we actually got into hell at the end, and that was cool. It's the most supernatural the show had been.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. Maybe it'll be weirder and more magically.
I think they're trying to
the second season
keep it more grounded in Los Angeles and Earthbound.
Yeah, but Los Angeles is also weird, so they can weird it up.
Well, that's why he chose Los Angeles, because it's the best place for the devil to fit in.
Right.
I just wanted to read this tweet here.
Take us Californians. We're a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, I love California, but when I was living in Oregon, like half the people that live in Oregon are from California. People move up there to get away from California. But I was going to read this tweet because I was looking back through my tweets, like all my Comic-Con tweets to see if I could pull something out. And this is from Dan Slott, and he's a Spider-Man writer. And he says, "Want me to say it? I'll say it. DC Movie Universe has won me over with their SDCC trailers." So that's from the guy who currently has the Spider-Man book talking about the DC Universe. So just thought Winona Earp season 2 got announced at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So
that's exciting. I need to catch up on that.
That's another show that my DVR screwed me out on. It was set to record and then it didn't.
I haven't watched a single episode of it, but for a while there, I ended up following and getting followed by a bunch of Winona Earp people because I was like, hey, let's band together to, you know, combine our efforts for 12 Monkeys and Winona Earp, and we'll just beat sci-fi together. So I ended up with like a bunch of Winona Earp stuff, and I've never watched a single episode of it. But I plan
It's really fun. It's really fun, and it's another one that's like, it's got that sexed upness, but it's also rolling its eyes at
and
it,
I guess
one
is
the way that I can.
Lesbian or bisexual, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, her sister's bi, and she's a disaster, and the bad guy is the most overblown weirdo you ever did see.
And of course you have the immortal Doc Holliday.
Yeah, and the mustache thing.
And the immortal Doc
they have the
Holliday.
whole mustache or whatever.
And the waistcoat.
Waistcoats are awesome.
And the government guy that's Winona's partner is like, he's like such a straight man for the entire show. Like, he's literally like the straight line that everything on the show bounces off of.
Janu, did you guys see this picture? You can't probably tell what it is. It's Felicity, what's her face, from Arrow, making out with John Barrowman.
John Barrowman?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that one. My brother showed me that. He's like, look, John Barrowman's just making out with someone. I was like, is that Emily?
Yeah, that's normal for John Barrowman, though.
Yeah,
he's really kind of it.
Really
like
slutty.
Him randomly kissing people. Right?
But no, I adore him because I adore him back from Torchwood. So.
Yeah, same.
He's so great.
And actually, that was part of the reason that I agreed to watch Arrow in the first place, because I was like, what? Nobody told me that John Barrowman was on this show. What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it now.
I don't even remember why I decided to suddenly... I watched Arrow the first 3 seasons like last summer. I'm like, oh, I'll watch it finally, and I did, and I started watching it, and I like got through all 3 seasons, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I'll watch the first season of Flash, and then I'll watch the new season as they started, and then my DVR screwed up, and I was like, screw you, DVR.
Well, I had a friend who watched it back
when
I was living in Oregon when it first came on, and he was watching it, and I was like, is it worth it? He was like, I don't know, I'm actually kind of liking it so far. And I was like, And he's one of those really fickle type people. Like, so if he likes the show, I'm like, it's probably good, because he hates everything, because it's like cool to hate everything or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he's a comedian. And comedians are notoriously like bitchy.
Sorry.
The whole like, it was like, but yeah, I have to say that I like Flash better.
Yeah. Flash is more, there's more humor to it, where Arrow is very serious.
And it's not just serious, it's really melodramatic. Like, it's really soap opera, like soapy to me. And it's, I feel like I'm watching.
And they make so many stupid
decisions. Yeah, I feel like
that whole, like I said, that whole season with Ra's al Ghul, like literally 4 times making the same stupid decision, and by the end of that season, I was just like, well, fuck you, Ollie. I'm gonna go watch Barry. He's much more fun.
Barry doesn't make the same stupid mistakes over and over again.
Yeah, Barry.
Or if he does, he at least does it better.
Yeah.
Barry has Cisco.
That's the thing, is they're 2 very different characters. Ollie is that
I've been through hell and back.
He's also really that kind of masculine archetype, you know,
Batman.
That lone wolf. Yeah, I mean that's
Batman.
what it is. It's that. And Barry.
That was my problem with Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul is a Batman villain.
Ra's al Ghul is a DC villain, so he can show up anywhere.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of the Batman.
Him being him being there tried to make Arrow into a Batman show, even without Batman.
Arrow is Batman.
And
I mean, it really is. It's the Dark Knight on TV.
it's some of that, but the tone never fit right
Because
for that whole season.
They took Vampire Diaries and smushed it together.
They took the dumb shit and didn't give me the good stuff, because I really like Ra's al Ghul and other things.
Yeah.
But by the end of that, I just wanted to punch his weird face in the face.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not a slut shamer, but like Ollie, like going through women, really just annoyed the shit out of me, because it was like, your girlfriend just died, you're already banging somebody else. Like, really, really, can't you take a minute to fucking breathe? Like, nope. And of course,
he's not allowed to have any feelings except anger.
Female character did
anger and
stupidity, a bunch of shit, like Cassie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a drink.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
I'm out
I
too.
think my soda is empty. I will have to get another one when this is over.
But there's like, I like the way that they're building up the DC TV universe, where they've got like Arrow is dark and gloomy, and then Flash is a lot more fun, and then Supergirl is even more fun.
And then you just have Legends of Tomorrow that gives no fucks.
Legends of Tomorrow is like, they never had a fuck to give. Like, they're just flying around time, busting shit up, and it's the best thing ever.
All I have to say,
kind of like the TV version of Suicide Squad if they were having fun.
All I have to say is season 2.
They're like the worst. They're the worst time travelers ever, and they don't care, and it's so great.
And I have a particular fondness for Sarah, White Canary, because her name's Sarah.
Yeah,
Katie
bisexual.
Sarah's good.
Katie Lotz is amazing.
Yeah.
And they remember that she's bisexual. Yes. She's allowed to come on to Girls and Guys.
Yes. That made me so happy that they did not drop that. I will admit it, I did not like the Captain Canary. And I am going to get flamed for that on Twitter. I guarantee it.
Oh.
I am guaranteeing it. Because
I like the Captain anything. You can team Len up with anybody and have them make out, and I'd be happy. Like, seriously. I think she had more chemistry with Arthur Darvill.
Yeah,
but
agreed. See, that was it. I wanted her.
I haven't seen any of that stuff yet.
Oh,
that's okay. That's okay.
They need
I'm not worried about spoilers.
They need to just get married. The whole crew can just get married into one big group marriage in the 51st century or whatever.
So happy with that. So happy.
That sounds like Robert Heinlein right there.
Even before I heard Wentworth
getting back to the roots of sci-fi.
Even before I heard Wentworth Miller would be back for season 2, I was signed on for season 2 just for Mick and Ray.
Dude, Mick and Ray is the most unexpected friendship ever. It is so great.
It's so cute. Because Ray is just
Ray is my precious cinnamon roll.
He's just this big innocent cinnamon roll baby, and then you have Mick who's like, I'm going to punch your face in.
A lot. But only me. No one else can.
And I love it. And then I was like, oh, I hate that you haven't seen it all that yet, sir, because the scene at the end when Ray shows up and picks Mick up in the car, he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm your ride. No.
And I'm sure I would get more out of the combination if I'd seen Prison Break, and maybe I'll watch it at some point. I don't know. But
my infatuation with Dominic Purcell and Wentworth Miller actually, it did start with Prison Break, but I just love them
on Prison Break.
Yes, they play brothers on Prison Break. They're only partners on Legends of Tomorrow and Flash. They've yet to show up on Arrow.
But they grew up together from the orphanage onward, so they may as well be brothers.
Yeah. It actually
they're Beanie Boys.
It really amused me is I I knew Wentworth Miller was on Flash because I had seen the GIFs floating around on Tumblr a couple times. And I was like, oh, okay.
So great.
I can enjoy this.
He's such a 1930s villain.
He is. Even
on Flash.
the way he talks and everything. I love it. And then
and we've like met his family. They don't all talk like that.
They don't.
He's just being a weirdo.
He's just a weirdo.
I think that's one of the reasons Flash is more fun than Arrow, because they do weird shit like that.
Yeah. But no, I went into it with Flash.
And they do better with other shows' characters than their own shows do.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad for everyone on Arrow.
And it's like I did go into Flash knowing Wentworth Miller was in it, and I'm like, well, I know he's a villain, so he's probably only in one episode. And then he was like, he's in the first episode, and he's gone after that. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was a nice little Wentworth Miller treat. And then he shows back up with Dominic Purcell, which I didn't know who was in there at all as Heatwave. And I was like, oh. And then I started hearing about Legends of Tomorrow, and I'm like, I'm signed on. I tend to follow actors more than like TV shows. If an actor I like is in a TV show, I'm more likely to give the TV show a chance.
I am to a certain extent. I mean, it's really just been in the last few years that I've started watching TV again. I took a very kind of a big TV hiatus for quite a while.
Yeah.
I was working a lot, and I was reading more, and I was doing theater and stand-up comedy, and I just didn't have time for television watching. But it's really just been the last couple of years that I've been watching shows. So I might, follow actors from here on out, but like the only ones I can think of are like I'll watch anything that's got Gillian Anderson. Are we going for a ride?
Yes,
taking us for a ride.
I'm moving to get more in front of my fan. I'm dying.
Oh, look, you have lights in your corner too.
Yes, I do. They're just not on right now because they're attached to my turtle tank. And if I turn the light on for my turtle tank, my room will go up by like 4 or 5 more degrees. And it's already 85 in my room right now. So
I have an air conditioner.
I do too, but my room is hot anyways.
That's why I have my red lights, which for some reason it looks green on the screen.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like,
but
if I have turn on, mine are purple.
Red lights in my room. These guys are purple, but
yeah, they look blue.
Yeah, they look blue.
They do look blue.
They're purple, and then the actual lights that I have are red, so it almost looks like a dark room in here when I turn the TV off. So.
Yeah, this thing here, this is my lamp. That is my lighting in here right now, and it looks really bright, but it does not do the job. If I turned on the turtle tank, you could see the purple lights behind me, but like I said, it's already hot in my room, and the turtle can enjoy his tank without the heat lamp right now.
So what's your big I guess the big announcement is that they're bringing Prison Break back. How are they doing that with the is it just not
the ending?
Conflicting? No, because I don't know anything about Prison Break.
Okay, and you haven't seen the end of it, right, Sammy?
Yes, I don't know anything about Prison Break at all.
I've only seen the beginning.
Okay,
so I
have a vague idea.
The schedules with the guys with like LOT, they're just like filming off season.
That's why it's going to be a short season. They had to work around schedules.
Yeah, that's like everyone was all like, "Oh, that's why Wentworth won't be back on Legends of Tomorrow because he's going back to Prison Break." And I'm like, "Well, that makes no sense because it's not Prison Break without Dominic Purcell."
Is it going to be like X-Files where it's only like 6 episodes? Is it going to be like 13?
It is a limited season. I'm not sure on how many episodes yet. It's either going to be 6 or 10 though, probably.
It's really short.
Yeah. But
which is the new thing right now.
See, it's like what they said was that X-Files did so well on its limited run, we are getting another season. So what the Prison Break people are really hoping for is that they'll get such a good reaction for the renewal of Prison Break and 24, because we're getting another season of 24 as well, And
Yeah,
that
because
they'll-
Fox is tired of people getting mad at them for canceling shit, and they're bringing back all their favorite stuff.
exactly,
Yeah.
and Fox is being smart about it, in my opinion.
Bring back Firefly and fucking Dollhouse. No.
Oh
Dude,
no,
right?
we can't bring back the good shit.
Well, I mean, they can't really bring back either one of those anyway because he managed
been
to wrap them up.
Tied up decently.
Well, they could bring it back if they wanted to. Every single person who made Firefly would drop whatever they're doing to do it. They-
Yeah.
Well, and all the
They
rest
said
of us
so.
would drop what we're doing to watch it.
Right.
Dude, I would freaking crowdfund that shit.
I
Like,
mean,
if they were like,
right?
we'll do it, but we need money. I'm like, here, take my $10.
They could do like stuff that took place like in the interim between Firefly and Serenity.
Yeah.
Just like with Dollhouse, they could do plot that took place in
Between the past and the future.
past and the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they could just ignore Serenity.
Yeah. I was so sad about
Retcon.
Dollhouse. Yes, retcon Serenity.
They can just. It was supposed to be more of what would have happened in season 1 and season 2, so just go back and make it the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I can keep Mr. Universe.
I just
Yeah.
don't want to. I can't do
We have to
Firefly.
watch Inara die.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
watch Inara die.
No.
That's true.
And I don't want to
Yeah.
watch. I don't want to watch Ellen Tudyk's
Watch.
character die again either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Watch.
I can't. I'm a leaf on the
Dude.
wind. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it again.
Shut up.
Again.
That did not happen. It did not happen.
What's the retcon
He
it?
is fine.
I watched that, and when that happened, I literally went on Facebook and I just posted, "I'm a leaf on the wind, and I'm done." And everyone was like, "You just finished Serenity, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yes."
But Alan Tudyk has a new show. He's going to be in Powerless,
Yes, he is.
Oh.
which
I still haven't
I'm
watched
excited
Con
about
Men
that.
yet. I need to watch Con
I haven't
Men.
watched Con Men either.
Yeah,
I haven't
no.
either. But Powerless is going to be so much fun. It's about the insurance adjusters that have to clean up after superheroes.
Yes, that is
Oh, that's
going to
right.
be
I remember
interesting.
that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's-
And it's
I'm
him
trying-
and Hudgens and Danny Pudi and Ron Funches. Like, it's all these people that I love.
Yeah.
Oh, Ron Funches. Ron Funches and I actually have mutual friends because of the Pacific Northwest.
Because of the comedy.
Yeah. I never actually got to meet him, but actually several of my friends that still live back in Eugene have actually performed
He's
with.
so
That
he's
is
so fun.
that is so creepy, Sarah. I used to live in Eugene.
In Eugene, Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I actually
How
spent
did we not talk about this already?
I don't know. I actually spent 3 years on the Oregon coast in Coos Bay.
Okay.
And then right before I moved down here to California, I moved up to Eugene for about 6 months.
Well, that's what I was saying when I lived in Oregon. Like, half the people there are Californians.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Illinois. I moved
He moves
across
around a lot.
Yeah, I moved to Oregon for my at the time fiance's job, and then I left him and moved to Eugene, and then I moved down here to California.
Yeah, I lived in Eugene for like 6 years.
Oh wow! How long ago did you leave?
2. Just actually, it was a little bit less than 2 years ago.
Oh, I left 4 years ago. So
Well, there was. I mean, there was. Some
we
overlap.
lived in
We're
the same
actually
area at
in
the
town.
same time.
I lived in South Eugene.
I lived just out technically I lived in Springfield.
I lived in Springfield when I first moved there. But,
Okay.
yeah, like everyone's like, we don't care about geography in Oregon.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
it's
we
just
won't
weird.
bore. We won't bore you. That's a conversation we'll have.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that on Twitter or something.
Yeah, we can Facebook it or Twitter.
Okay,
it.
so yeah,
So yeah,
Prison Break. And 24, so I'll be good. I won't make it all about Prison Break. Prison Break and 24 are both coming back this fall not this fall, sorry, in 2017 for limited release of a new season.
Everything's 2017. Like,
I know.
Everything in 2017.
This year,
nothing this fall.
This year is the year for
time travel shows this fall.
Yeah, this year is the year of the movie. But no, basically with Prison Break, what I've read is that everything we saw at the end wasn't what we actually saw. That is basically the idea that every interview has thrown at us. What you saw isn't what you saw.
They're retconning.
They're not retconning. They're not retconning.
They're going to
recontextualizing.
Yes.
That's a form of retconning, though.
Yeah, it is. Because
it's totally
technically, because I don't know like how much you guys know about the show at all. One of the main characters was dead.
I know that
at the
one
end of
guy
the series.
was in jail, and the other guy was trying to break him out. That is everything I know about it.
That is basically the basic idea of all 4 seasons.
I feel bad that he kept winding up in jail to break out from. Like, this is now 5 jails.
I was like, how is the show like so many seasons? You broke him out already by now?
And people are like, Jesus, you're in jail again.
So it really should have been called Prison Breaks, plural. Like,
season 1 was
in prison again is what it should be called.
Yeah, season 1 was basically Michael getting Lincoln out of prison. And then season 2 was them on run.
The whole first season of what I watched has like a 30-day time limit or something. Like,
yeah, it did, because Lincoln was happening in execution.
The episodes are happening like in the same week because there's so little time.
Right. It's straight. They did it really well, though. I do have to give them that.
So it's almost like 24, not literally like 24, but
they had more time to spread out over a season. Yes. And then season 2 is basically Lincoln and Michael are on the run after breaking out of prison. And then season 3, Michael ends up in prison down in Mexico. So then Lincoln has to break him out. And now season 4, I have no fucking clue what's going on. I have no fucking clue. I'm going to rewatch it again, too.
I don't know. It just never struck my fancy. It just seemed like a ridiculous
plotline.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous premise for a show.
It does end up.
I never watched it when it was on, and I looked back at the Wikipedia list of what was on that year, and I wasn't watching anything else. I just never saw it. Like, apparently that I was just not watching TV at that point and didn't even notice. Like,
I watched
Mars was on. Like,
I watched season 1, and I don't know why I didn't watch after
VM.
that. So.
I helped pay for VM to come back.
Oh, did
you?
I did.
But there's more to the story than breaking them out of prison. There is much more to it. There's a whole conspiracy.
Robin Tunney was in the first season. I didn't even know Robin was on that show. I love her.
Yeah, she was.
I always think of her from The Craft. That's like the main thing I think of her from.
And then of course
Sarah.
We have Sarah Wayne Callies running around, and she does
Sarah Wayne Callies. I didn't know she was in there. She's so much less annoying than she was on Walking Dead.
Yes, she is. Actually, it was really funny. During the panel, they asked the actors, "What other show would you think your character would do well in?" And Sarah Wayne Callies responded, "She would do horrible in The Walking Dead."
Yeah, you kind of need a look for Walking Dead, but I didn't like Lori.
Yeah, and I think Sarah Wayne Callies knows nobody liked Lori, but that's how the character was presented. So you really couldn't.
You gotta work with what you got.
Lori, then, because I like Lori, so I must be like the only person.
Because, like, don't get me wrong, I love Sarah Wayne Callies on Colony. I loved her on Tarzan.
Oh, Prison Break started in 2005. That's why I had just become a nurse, and I was working like 70-hour weeks, so no wonder.
Yeah, no wonder.
2005. What was I doing in 2005?
I had just graduated college, and so I think I must have been working a lot.
I was still in college, so I was probably at college a lot.
Yeah,
Because I was probably getting very close to finishing up. Yeah, and then in 2009 is when I moved to the West Coast. So
yeah,
I finished college and moved.
I moved to Oregon in 2008.
Like I've been a TV reviewer on and off for freaking 10 years now, but there's the off parts were usually because I had no television. Like we couldn't afford cable, or I was working 3 jobs and never saw TV or whatever.
That's why when I was in the Olsen family for like 20 minutes, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't very long because I got the paperwork and they sent me cash in the envelope with the paperwork, and like I filled it out and I sent it back, and I got a thing back from them. And they were like, "You suck because you don't watch live television."
You're never on TV.
I was watching everything online. You know, I was like, back then it was Hulu was free, and like you know, I watched everything on Hulu and Netflix.
I'm still mad that Hulu switched to pay, and that I still have to have ads even after I pay my $8 a month.
Yeah, you have to pay more.
I can't afford no $12 a month.
And you don't get the full season anymore. I mean, that was part of the when I first signed up with Hulu Plus. That was part of the attraction of Hulu. Just had like 5 episodes, but Hulu Plus had like the whole season. And now you only get those 5 episodes. You only get like the whole season.
I know.
Half season.
And then after we sign up for the $12 tier, then they're going to make a $15 one and take us back to 5 episodes.
Right? It's like ridiculous.
I'm just going to have to keep punching Hulu, which is why Hulu is
just going to stick with Netflix.
I have the
On Demand is my first go, and then Hulu is only if I can't find it on Demand or the site's own or the show's own websites.
Right.
Well, I had put my Hulu membership on like indefinite suspension like a couple years ago.
I get an email every once in a
to rewatch season 1 of 12 Monkeys.
Yeah. Every once in a blue moon, I'll get like an email from Netflix going, "Your list is still here waiting for you to come back whenever you're ready, Joy."
And it stays there.
And I'm just like, I'm never going to come back because A, I can't afford to pay for Netflix for myself.
Okay.
And B, why should I have 2 Netflix accounts in one house? So I just use my roommates.
For a while, I had 2 Netflix accounts for myself when they were only DVD before they had streaming.
Yeah.
And I was getting so many DVDs. It was like the best thing ever.
I did the same thing. And then for a while, they made it
signed up. My account was still there.
Yeah. Then for a while, they made it you couldn't have 2 accounts at one address. Because that's why I got rid of my 2 accounts. They're like, you can only have 1 account per address, and I'm like, okay, fine. And then now they don't care anymore.
Mine had both lapsed when I was in school.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to school. I don't have time to worry about bills.
Right. And then I had to yell at a friend's mom because she had her Netflix account on my bank account because she didn't have a bank account. And she stopped giving me the money to pay for her Netflix account. And I'm like, you are overdrawing my bank account. You have to give me the money. Well, I can't afford it. And I'm like, well, then you need to cancel your Netflix.
Or you can block it from your account and it can't be.
I did. I ended up contacting Netflix and my bank, and I'm like, I'm not approving this anymore. This needs to stop now.
Yeah, I have Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I have Netflix and Amazon Prime.
I had Amazon Prime when I was in school, but I can't afford Amazon Prime.
I suspended it for a year, I think, but I went back to it. But now you get all these benefits from it. When I started with Amazon Prime, it was just the shipping.
Dude, right?
Now I get
do
to
they
watch
have-
movies and read books.
Do they have monthly charging on Amazon Prime yet? Because I ain't paying $99 for a year.
I think that you can divide it up into payments.
Yeah.
But I always do the one-time payment.
Yeah,
See,
same.
when I was
We
in-
just do it every year.
When I was in school, I had the school discount because it was only like 40 or 50 if you were in school,
Right.
and I would pay it with my financial aid refund. But now I'm not in school, so I don't have a refund, and it like I haven't been able to afford to pay $100 for Amazon.
Right. I feel that.
Because I was buying all of my books through Amazon, so like 3 times a year they were getting a whole lot of money from me anyway.
Right. I don't know. I've had the Amazon account I have now was originally my mom's. For the longest time, it would greet me as my mom, and I'm like, this is not the name on this account anymore. How do I change this? My Amazon account is probably like 9, 10, maybe even that older than that years old.
Mine is really old, and I have to keep it active because that's my address book that I use whenever I try to remember where I lived at what this time and whatever, because I have all of my former places of residence listed.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
From where I would get deliveries, because I've lived so many different places, and that's how I keep it straight is through Amazon.
I was doing that too, but recently I had to replace my Kindle because it broke, and they sent it to an old address, even though I had replaced it as my default home address. They still sent it to my old address, which means I never got the thing, which means I spent 4 days on customer service telling them that I never got the replacement for the thing that shouldn't have had to been replaced to begin with because it went to the old address. So I went and I erased all my old addresses so that literally the only one they could send it to was this one. So now if I need my old addresses, I'll have to find them somewhere else.
I've never had a problem with that, and I have moved so many freaking times that I'm so dependent on that. Whenever I fill out any kind of
I do too.
Forms or whatever, I use that.
I've lived in a different house every year for a freaking decade, and there's never been a problem. And then this time, when I was replacing the thing that I watch most of my television on when I'm a TV reviewer, that's when it messes up. Of course.
Okay.
What was that? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. There we go. That was weird.
Did you guys see the King Arthur preview?
I did not, and I did need to go watch that.
Yeah, it's the guy from Sons of Anarchy, and it looks freaking ridiculous, but it looks like fun too. It's such a 12-year-old boy movie.
I think I saw a preview for that at one of the movies that I went to.
It's like Excalibur Extreme.
Maybe it was Ghostbusters. Maybe that's where I saw the preview for it. I
like the song that's in the trailer, though. It's totally some John Donne poem or something turned into a rock ballad.
Yes.
Oh, it's Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's so doodly, but it might be to it might be to the point where
that's why he's not going to be in Pacific Rim 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's doing King Arthur, yeah.
But John Boyega is going to be in Pacific Rim.
Yes.
John Boyega.
John Boyega.
Yeah.
He's the best.
I'm ready to see Rogue One.
Yes. December cannot get here fast enough.
When Disney bought Star Wars, I was very sad. But if they're gonna give me a new movie every year, I'm not gonna be sad anymore.
I can deal.
Like,
no. No.
You know, when I know a lot of people were bitching or whatever, but when I heard it, I was actually really happy because um, I was so disappointed by the prequels, and I was like,
The prequels were awful.
Disney,
Yeah.
Disney knows how to make movies, and I was like, you know, if we're gonna get more Star Wars movies, I'd rather it be in the hands of Disney. And then once it was J.J. Abrams, I was like, oh my god, he knows how to make science fiction. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
And then
worried.
people are.
I was worried until I saw episode 8, and I loved that one so much that now I'm like, yes, just give me all of it. I will watch 4 movies a year.
Yes.
If you would pay for 4 a year, I would watch 4 movies a year. Just keep giving me more Star
Oh, yeah.
Wars. Like,
well, I worked at the Magic Kingdom like 15 years ago, and I was there on the college program. And when you're on the college program, part of the deal is that they make you go to these seminars. They call it Disney University, and you take like marketing classes, and they teach you like the whole philosophy behind Disney marketing, and it's supposed to be the same classes that they sell like to Fortune 500 companies for their employees, but like they they are so in depth with their business strategies as far as making films and what they, you know, the Disney synergy, you know, releasing musicals to go along with films and the soundtracks and the rides, you know.
yeah,
all
they
of- all
know
of
what
the
they're doing.
images. And,
Right.
yeah, they have it all mapped out. I mean, to the point where they actually sell their system to other companies to help other
Well,
companies
see,
make money. So
I never
they
doubted the marketing. The marketing was never a problem. It was what the movie would actually be like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was,
Well, I
it was
figured
good.
it couldn't be any worse than the ones that
Dude, right?
Lucas gave us last round. So
Have you seen the belated media videos? Like, what if the prequels were good? And like, they literally went point by point through the 3 movies and made them good. And then I was mad because,
well, I don't know if I
like,
can
that
watch
means they could have been good. They were just done so poorly.
Well, I was first disappointed when they did the re-releases and Lucas had gone back and retconned the shit with Burrito and Han and all the added unnecessary CGI.
Yeah.
And,
I was
I mean
mad.
that was kind of our first indicator that the prequels were gonna suck.
I was mad that they made it such a short timeline that it made it not so much a big deal when the Empire fell, because like literally people would still be alive who remember what it was like beforehand.
Yeah.
It was one generation. Like, it was lame.
Yeah.
But this is an old argument.
It ended up,
Yes.
it ended up being way
This
too
is
quick.
a almost 20-year-old argument at this point.
But I'm telling you, nerds hold on to this shit. You can't piss
We
off
do.
your nerd fan
You
base.
can't. No, I agree.
Especially something like Star Wars. I mean, that's
Like even
such
if even if you enjoyed the
That's a quiet-
prequels, you don't tell people you enjoyed the prequels.
well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There were aspects of the prequels that I enjoyed. Like it wasn't 100%
Like
stinker,
Ewan
but
McGregor.
Yeah,
like, that 10% or 5% or whatever I enjoyed didn't make up for the rest of the 90%.
Everything Ewan McGregor did in those 3 movies was amazing. I enjoyed General Grievous. I just wish we had gotten more of him.
There was
I want Ewan McGregor to do an Obi-Wan movie.
Yes.
Like him right now, as he is, played that age Obi-Wan.
Yes, it would be perfect.
And it would be fantastic. Give me that movie.
I would watch that.
I would watch the fuck out of that.
But I would pretty much watch anything with Ewan McGregor. It's just
Oh, I can't hear any.
I I know it got really quiet there for a second.
Probably because I'm quieter. My parents went to bed.
Oh, we probably should wrap it up here. We're going on at 2.5 hours now.
Oh, we are. It's gotten long.
And
it was
I'm
SDCC.
getting very.
There was a lot to talk about.
We did cover a big majority of the big announcements. I mean, unless I missed something, which who knows.
Dude, but like as these things happen, we can come back and like reference.
Yeah,
like,
we can.
Remember when we talked about this thing for 3 seconds before talking about 12 Monkeys again? Well, here it is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch it when you put it back up and just count how many times
we mentioned 12 monkeys, right?
And then we'll like start a tally.
We should just have like a. We should just set up like a counter clock or something. One of us can control when we're doing the show, and every time we mention 12 monkeys.
Click.
The cat hair stuck to my lip gloss.
I hate that.
I can't find it.
That is so sexy.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's why I have so many dates. I mean, and by so many dates I mean I haven't had a boyfriend in 5 years.
My closest boyfriend is not in my room anymore. It must have got too hot in here for him.
Well, I mean, I'm his mother, so I guess it becomes nice if he's a boyfriend in my chihuahua.
The boyfriend I was talking about was the big fat thing that I held up to the screen a while ago and then shoved off of me because he weighs 25 pounds.
Yeah, my chihuahua only weighs.
Yeah,
He's over. Actually, he's laying on my clean clothes that I need to put away, so they're not really clean anymore.
No. But yeah, I think
hair all over them.
I think we covered everything.
I think we did.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a long list, and we got everything on it.
Yeah, and my list was pretty long too. I mean, we basically covered everything we enjoy as fans. We didn't have to cover
my list was in my head. So.
Yeah. Did we cover everything?
I think so.
I can't remember that stuff.
That's why I pulled out Twitter to kind of cheat, because I was like, what was I tweeting about during comic?
I was a waitress for too long to trust something that I don't write down.
Yeah, same.
I have to write it down.
We saw how badly I failed at remembering my points when I tried to keep them in my head.
There were a lot of circumstances where I literally couldn't write things down when I was a nurse, so I got used to keeping long lists.
Understandable.
But I was in theater, and
yeah,
I grew up doing that, memorizing.
See, that's why I don't, aside from crippling anxiety, that's why I don't do the front of like the acting part. Like I would write totally, but I can't remember shit. So I can't remember lines.
I actually have an excellent memory, which is kind of a blessing and a curse.
I did until some stupid lady who was driving and petting her cat at the same time sideswiped me. It sucks a lot. Yeah, literally, I see her through my car window as she hits me, and I see she's an older lady. And I felt fine after the accident, so I jumped out of the car and I ran to her car, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I'm so sorry. I was petting my cat."
Okay, Dr. Evil, thanks.
Yeah, hi, thank you. You just ruined my brain and my knee and back.
Well, my memory isn't as great as it used to be because of that.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys.
Whatever. Yeah, it's getting late.
It is.
It is getting late.
It's even later.
And I still have to upload this. But she's in the same time zone as me.
Oh, are you? I didn't know that.
I'm on the East Coast.
It's like 9:30 here, but I've been up since 4.
Yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm on the west coast of Florida.
Of the East
Okay.
Coast.
I'm on the west.
You're on the west coast of the East Coast.
I am in the high desert of California, so it gets hot as fuck here.
Yeah,
And the heat
gets
takes it out of me.
here too.
It gets hot every damn where. Like, Florida's just hot. Like,
Okay, like
America's
before,
hot.
before we have anyone who actually is going to watch this watching me fall asleep up here in the little corner, I'm gonna call it.
Lullaby and good night.
I'm gonna call it because I am like exhausted today for some reason.
Yeah, we'll figure out what we're gonna do next week.
Yeah, we can figure it out on Twitter, no problem. All right, good night, ladies.
Good night.
Bye. Oi. Bye. I'm going.
Bye bye. We'll announce what we're doing next week at some point on Twitter.